Dad, can I go play too? Can I?
I would feel better if you go play over on the sponge beds.
Chances are that you've seen Finding Nemo multiple times, as it was released back in 2003, but there's still so many things that you probably have never noticed. From the most unusual hidden gems to hidden adult humor, you'll be surprised that what we found in one of the most successful, critically, commercially, and culturally Pixar animated movies.
Clownfish? Really? Go on, tell us a joke!
Oh, I love jokes.
Here's a few details that Pixar adds to every movie, and you're probably already knowing that we're talking about traditional A113 and Pizza Planet truck. A113 code appears on the underwater camera when we see the diver, and as you already know, A113 represents a classroom where many of Pixar's animators first studied. As for the Pizza Planet truck, it can be briefly seen from the dentist's office. The truck is seen driving by quickly, and this is exactly the blink and you miss it hidden detail. Haven't found it yet? It happens when Gil is trying to escape from the dentist's office. The next cameo is dedicated to Cars, and we can see Luigi passing by real quick. Even though Cars wouldn't premiere for another 3 years, it was just a reminder of how long these films take to produce. At least this is what we think about it. The next interesting cameo is from the past, for 1989 to be more precise. If you remember the 1989 Pixar short Knick Knack, you'll notice the mermaid that looks exactly like the girl from this movie. Knick Knack is about a snow globe snowman desperate for a little fun in the sun. The sunny Atlantis mermaid from this short adorns the bow of the sunken ship inside the dentist's fish tank as a sort of good luck charm. This is so nice to see her there, by the way. Another cool thing is about the young turtle shells. Did you notice that they look really familiar and have all different flowers on them? They were designed to resemble Hawaiian shirts. The next cameo, which appears at the very end of the movie, was Mike Wachowski from the Monsters, Inc., and you can spot him swimming by in the end credits. We definitely can't get enough of these Pixar characters' cameos. And yes, it is also important to notice that Finding Nemo is the second movie in Pixar's history with the words "the end" appearing in the final scene. A Bug's Life was the first.
You so totally rock, Squirt! So give me some fin.
We don't know if you have noticed, but the dentist's office in Finding Nemo is chock full of really cool hidden gems. Let's start with the first one, the toys in the kids' play area. You should take a closer look to see that our favorite toy from the Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear, can be spotted on the floor of the dentist's waiting room. Very sneaky. Eagle-eyed viewers can also notice Pixar's Luxo Ball and Little Mikey. Remember him? Miley is a stuffed toy that belongs to Mike from the Monsters, Inc. Let's move on to the waiting room to find one really interesting thing. There is a boy sitting and reading a Mr. Incredible comic book, but the thing is that The Incredibles didn't come out until the following year. The next thing that was hidden in the dentist's exam room was a mobile hanging from the ceiling that is identical to the one seen in Boo's bedroom in the Monster Inc. You can also notice Boo's fun little fish and drawing at the dentist office. As for the drawing, it is challenging to spot, but if you put the scene where Crush, Nemo, and Dory get into the dentist office, the scared kids point to Boo's drawing on the wall. And the last hidden Easter gem is the funniest one. If you zoom in on the dentist diploma on the wall in the office, you will see some very silly accolades, just like the Gums Most Likely to Recede award and the Toothless Grin award.
Sometimes you can't tell because fluid is rushing into the area. Now, any rushing fluids?
No.
Are you woozy?
No.
How many stripes do I have?
Finding Nemo is obviously created for kids, but we should also admit that there was a few hilarious adult jokes and scenes which made this movie interesting and fun for parents as well. Sometimes the writers add innocent adult jokes, and this is what we all love about modern animated films. One of the adult moments like that was in Dr. Sherman's office when the fish was in the tank and are scanned by a cleaning machine. Have you noticed that one of the fish covers his private area? In another scene, we definitely see the reference to an Alcoholics Anonymous addiction meeting where the sharks are meant to discuss that they should stop eating fish. And here's one more moment when the shark Bruce is in his hungry quest for the fish and says, "Here's Brucey." Sounds familiar, right? This is just because it was a reference to the scene in The Shining when Jack Nicholson shouts, "Here's Johnny." If you have anything to add about adult humor, feel free to share what you've noticed in the comment section down below.
Dory, no singing.
I love to swim in
Dory.
when you want
We've all noticed that Finding Nemo isn't only beautifully made, but it is also super realistic when it comes to the ocean. Not many kids notice this detail though, but if you watch the movie as an adult, you'll definitely admit that the ocean is pretty accurate. Many of you don't know, but the movie's art team had to go through marine training prior to production. Pixar's in-house team was required to take courses and audit lectures in marine biology, oceanography, and others, while enrolling in scuba diving classes. We should also give them credit as the team worked hard to study the world of marine life. Visits to aquariums and diving stints in Monterey and Hawaii, study sessions in front of Pixar's well-stocked 25-gallon fish tanks, and a series of in-house lectures that all helped them get into the swim of things. PixarTalks.com noted they did a really great job showing that the deep ocean is terrifying. It was clearly shown in the scene in which Marlin and Dory encounter scary anglerfish in the deep ocean. This scene was creepy not only for kids but as for adults as well. But if the kids only perceive it as two little fish fighting a big, scary fish, adults will notice just how terrifying that big fish is. And yeah, this fish is real and you can meet it in real life.
Dory!
We
So what did it say? What did the mask say?
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
We should definitely admit that Finding Nemo characters look cute. But did you know that the dogs were used as models for the fishy facial expressions? Well, explains the cuteness of all of the characters. As you already know, the Pixar team had to take courses on marine life and learned a wide variety of spectacular shapes and colors, perfect for an animated film depicting the underwater population. But there was one issue that they were met with. There was a lack of emotions as the fish doll's eyes didn't let them build excessive characters. But the challenge was accomplished when Pixar's team found a way out. They found other optical model and they chose dogs to model the eyes of its fish characters.
Oh, we did it! We did it! Oh yeah, yeah, yeah! No eating here tonight! Woo!
Not too many people know that Finding Nemo is actually based on a true story, but you can definitely feel that the story itself is very personal. Finding Nemo's writer, the director, Andrew Stanton, revealed that the movie began taking shape all the way back in his childhood. I remember going to my family dentist, who had this funky fish tank in his office. I assumed when I was a child that all fish and tanks were originally from the ocean and wanted to go home. According to Andrew, the story stayed in the back of his mind for decades, and a trip to Marine World with his son Ben only proved once again that this fish would be a perfect pick for the next computer animation, but he still needed a story that mattered to him emotionally. But thanks to his son, he found an answer. One day, the father and son went for a walk in the park, and he caught himself spending the whole time panicking about all the ways Ben might get hurt. He then realized that this fear was really stressful for both of them, and at the moment he realized that this conflict would be perfect to depict in his new movie. And we see this reflected in Marlin and Nemo's relationship. We should admit that Finding Nemo is not only an interesting and beautiful movie, it also has a very deep emotional story about the challenges of being a good father. You can tell us about the hidden details you noticed in Finding Nemo below. If there's something we forgot to include in this video, just let us know. We'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button though. Bye.
Eating here tonight!
No, eating here tonight.
Dory!
You're on a diet.